can't be held. Take the label off. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Here to Speak podcast. As always, Quan Scott here with Dom.
Yes, sir. What's up?
You caught us in the midst of a conversation, man.
A very good conversation.
Talking about that Zack Snyder Justice League cut.
Tremendous.
Yeah, man, this is far better than the original. As we were just saying, I don't know how you move forward without letting them finish off where he started, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I will say it was 4 hours well spent.
4 hours? Hell yeah, bro. You watched it. How many sittings did it take you to watch it?
It took me about 2.5 seconds. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
That's not bad.
But like I said, it was still a quality 4 hours well spent.
Head and shoulders better than the first one. I watched it in one setting on the Thursday.
I commend you on that.
On Thursday. It was like, I was watching it with V, and she goes, at the end of it, she was like, I couldn't tell if you liked it. But it was just like, I was so locked in, like watching. But yeah.
Because going into it, I don't want to get too much far into it. I didn't know like how much of a different movie it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like from start to finish, it was drastically different.
Yeah.
Different movie.
There's a lot.
For the better.
There's a lot. And the last thing I was trying to say about it, I've been telling everybody, just because one, how much I do love it, but just, it wasn't perfect by any stretch.
Oh, no.
I'll tell anybody, I was like, it wasn't perfect,
no,
but just like, the way he was able to not scrap it together, because they said he had the majority of it done already, like his version of it, but just the little stuff he added on to it, and then just to compile it that way, because most of this was done damn near 5 years ago, and like some VFX parts that weren't like super smooth, but still like all things considered, fire.
It was fire. And just staying true to the characters for what they are. You know what I mean? Like just little things like that, little beats that he hit, he knocked them out the
Give
park.
me an example.
Wonder Woman. You know, depicting her as the warrior that she is.
Yeah.
Got Superman right. I mean,
Yeah.
Batman. I mean, for the most part. I mean, compared to the last movie, you know,
Yeah.
when there's the cheesy cut up, you know, all that
Yeah.
hippie high ray, you know, all the other stuff that the other director tried to put in there for the sake of trying to be like Marvel like.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
No.
like, and it makes it because he did direct the Avengers, but it's just different.
But
like,
they're two completely like you can't not with no.
right.
Gotta let them be in their
The
own.
mustache. I'm glad they fixed that.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Zach, and like I said, I hope they find some way to let him finish, because you just can't end it on that and
No.
make it be successful.
All right, man. What is? Well, I was gonna say, what's some crazy shit you saw this week? But there's been a lot of crazy shit going
Where did we start?
on.
Let's
Let's talk about what?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say let's talk about the Miami shit. That's what I found.
Yeah. I don't. For those that don't know, spring break
I thought
for a lot of people it is.
I thought college spring break didn't start until April.
Well, I just assumed it was spring break. That's all the headlines I've been reading.
Oh, it is. But
I think it started.
I just
Then
didn't know.
I think it's going to be like the next couple weekends.
Okay.
So yeah, spring break in Miami. What have you been seeing?
But well, first of all, I mean, I knew Miami. Well, not just Miami, but Florida in general, but specifically South Florida has been open and very lax on the COVID protocols over the past.
Since it
basically
started?
like the summer.
Since it started?
Since it started. Yeah, open as any other place in the country. But I think it was, I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday. I recently downloaded this news app, and I'm about to delete it because it keeps going off like constantly. Just like, oh, this happened, this happened. It's almost always some horrible shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't
Too much negativity.
Yeah.
We're just speaking on that.
For
Yeah.
real, bro. But yeah, one of the funnier ones that I got this week was just Miami. I think Miami mayor shuts down spring break. They're closing off bridges and stuff like that to South Beach.
Just think about that.
Not allowing people in if your hotel is not there, like crazy.
Just think about that.
That's insane.
You won't shut down for a global pandemic, but
It's just too deep for you. Now.
it's too deep.
And it probably
break.
is. I've been down there on spring break around this time. It does get crazy, but I couldn't imagine right now.
Think about the level of like debauchery that has to be like
that's
taking place
insane,
for
man.
Miami to like, all right, we got to shut it down.
It's already a crazy ass place.
Not
But
COVID, but just spring break. Let's shut it down.
But just imagine how many people are going there right now, just to escape the protocols in there, so the COVID shit. So it's probably.
You been seeing some of the clips?
I haven't, but I've heard. It was some crazy shit you saw.
Where do you start? There was a video on Twitter where you see a guy being tackled by a restaurant.
Oh yeah, you sent me that. I didn't
Yeah.
have a signal that day. So I
And
couldn't
he's
watch
like
it.
trying to dine and dash.
Mhm.
Which, hey, get down there, about a little bit more you could chew. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Whatever. But so they're tackling this man in the middle of the street, and meanwhile, there's people everywhere watching.
Mhm.
But just in the middle of him, like fighting with the waiters and whatnot, you just see the camera pan over, and you just see like it's a host of a crowd of people twerking in the middle of the street, busting it open, you know, splits on the pavement and all that other stuff. So it just gives you a swift idea of like the giraffes, like all areas of being covered in, you know what I mean? All areas of ratchetness that's being covered in Miami right now. You know what I mean? You got dining dash, and you got twerking in the middle of the street holding up traffic. It's just in the middle of, I think it was, I don't know, you've been to Miami before. one of those.
Ocean Drive.
Yeah, of all places.
It's
Like I've never
insane.
seen that place like be like more like
That's
undesirable.
Because I mean, that is like the strip where everything goes on. But like for that type of shit, I've never seen it one day that I've been down there. But I wish I was there right now.
You see like, oh wow. I mean, you see like block parties like with people on the roofs and like just.
It's insane. Like I haven't seen it, so just based off what you're describing, it's a crazy place down there on the regular. But just based off what you're telling me right now, it sounds like it's
We
like
got like bar fights and with people smacking people in the head with bottles. Like it's. I'm telling you, whatever you want to see, you're going to see it in one of these clips.
Man.
But I want to ask you about how do you feel about how the media is depicting it, because like all those clips are clips of African Americans. In light of everything in this past year or so, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, in all honesty, from my 2 or 3 times I've been down to Miami, I honestly didn't see a lot of people who weren't of color. Not just African Americans, obviously. There's like a lot of Hispanic. There's a big Hispanic population down there, but around this time, that's really all I saw was black people and Hispanic people. I don't really recall seeing a lot of white people. So, I mean,
You don't feel like to be like to be like, all right, well, we can't be like doing all this now. You can't say we want to go away and like be doing all that. You don't feel that?
I mean, it's spring break. It's gonna get crazy. You know? It's gonna get crazy. I see what you're saying, but it's just.
It's not what I'm saying.
I see what you're getting at, but it's just. I just feel that spring break, there's crazy shit that's gonna take place.
Right.
Especially in that place of all places, with people being confined home, like the way they have this past year. Just the one place that they can go to let it out, there in Atlanta. Is the whole state of Georgia like, or was it just strictly Atlanta? That was.
I believe it's the whole state, but like obviously it's Atlanta. So.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, just those are one of the few places they can go to just let off some steam and stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, I kind of get it. I get it.
You see both sides to it, right?
Yeah, I see both sides, but it's just, man, just imagine how much we've been in the house like over the past year.
Yeah, that's very valid.
So, I mean, because I'm going to Florida in about a week or so. I'm not going to South Florida. I'm not going to South. We were supposed to, at the last minute, we kind of tried to change it to go to South Florida, but it ended up working out. So luckily, it didn't end up working out because we would have been right there
in the midst of it.
And I'm like, it's supposed to be a family trip. It's not like a boys trip. Like, so if it was the boys trip, I'm like,
let's do it.
Full sail ahead.
Let's do it. I'm gonna say full sail.
No, we're going to Orlando. So I don't plan on it being too crazy, but I get it, man.
I see
get
it, man. Yeah, like you said, it's a lot of stress.
We gotta go to Miami. Not now, obviously, but it's just a different.
I was just talking to somebody about this, and I just said it, but like around this time, I don't say every year, but like the past couple years, like, whenever we do make that trip, this is the last time I would want to go. Cause I feel like during like spring break time in Miami, like that's for me at this point in my life, that's like the most undesirable place I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. And like I'm not saying like I don't want like that scene, but like to that level, at this point in my life, I don't know.
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
I feel
that's
you.
a little like I'm here. It's like right here. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Nah.
You haven't been there yet, so I'll let you
You
wait to see.
You let me witness it.
I'll let you see it, but it's
We've been talking about this for a few years, so we just gotta make it happen.
We got you.
So I can't be too picky on it.
And I've been there when it wasn't like spring break, and that's still cool too. Like it's still just overall like a beautiful ass place to go. But it's very hectic on spring break. So that's just nothing I really couldn't imagine right now. Traffic, everywhere's crowded already. So this year specifically, I cannot imagine.
Yeah, see. I don't know.
Shit, what I want to talk about.
I mean, just
What's
to
up?
cap it up. Florida's going to Florida either way, so I just feel like
You said Florida's going to Florida?
I mean, you know, it's just like some of the most crazy things that's come out of Florida. So I guess no matter where you go, find the time to go, you bound to see something. So I guess I can't be too picky on
I know what I want to talk about. Speaking of spring break,
that.
Quavo and Saweetie broke up.
Mm.
See how I transition that. Do you see like everything going on with that? Specifically, like the. I just find that shit so funny. Did he actually take back the car?
I believe that everything I've seen so far. I mean, I believe so.
What would you do that?
I mean,
I've seen, like, a lot of like.
because like if you like, say you leased it, right?
Yeah.
And it's in your name,
Mm.
and like she has it, like, and she could just like stop paying on it and like mess up your credit and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So like, yeah, give me that back or go get that. Like that's mine.
What if it's
Or
completely paid off?
I mean, that's.
Because it was at a Bentley.
I think so. I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, obviously, I never bought nobody a Bentley before, but that's a big purchase just to be like,
That's huge.
and you just like recently did it too.
Yeah. Okay, let me stop. Because I don't even know what actually happened. Does anybody know what
I
actually
don't.
happened?
I don't know.
Is it out there? Because I heard conflicting stories that she did something wrong, or that
That's
he
what
did-
I've been hearing too.
or that he did something wrong.
So let's put this. I don't know if you want to like just put it in or compartmentalize it in a way where you just like, this is what happened and go from there. I don't know what. So like I said, I've been hearing both sides of it. But
Personally, I don't care what happened. I'm taking the car back. If it's me, we're both rich. I can see if you just did not have a car, like, okay, I would then still take the car back, but like downgrade you to something more like affordable that I feel comfortable letting you have as we part ways. I'm thinking like a Kia.
it's a very quality car.
Yeah, I still think that's a car. I'd be happy to have it.
I've been seeing a few. Like hey.
I'd be happy to have it, but a Bentley, I just can't let you keep.
No, but like I've been hearing like it's like detail like for her like she got like the ICE like stitched in the seats and stuff like that, got like snowflakes in the ceiling and whatnot. But regardless though,
That's cool. I'm still
Still take
get it back
it.
and sell it.
But in that case, it's like if it is indeed something you want, get it in your name.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You make the payments. I just don't want no ties to it. But if there's like a way where I'm tied to it, yeah, I'm taking it back.
I don't care if it's still like leased or not. I'm just taking it back.
You're just taking it back,
Starting
just
period, bro.
regardless.
Then I saw someone say like, well, if she, because I want to say he actually let her keep the car. And I saw someone say like, why would you want to keep that car? You're gonna be thinking of him every time you get into it. I'm like, so? All right,
It's my job.
that was a nice guy. Let me keep that car. Remember that one time Quavo let me keep that car?
Yeah, it's nice.
Like, just,
I know you're done.
bro, if I'm her, I would keep it.
I mean, you.
I'm not too proud.
I mean, yeah. I mean, shit. So if you're on that end of it, yeah. But at the end of the day, like you said, I just think, yeah, you gotta take it back.
Have you ever broken up with somebody and taken it back?
I think we talked about this before. I think
We was talking about these gifts.
if I
Like somebody giving you something and you gave it back.
Oh no. No.
You never given somebody something?
Wait.
Have
You talking about somebody giving me something?
Somebody gave you something and you gave it back.
No.
You told me you did that on like a couple episodes ago with the Louis belt and the designer belt.
That's different from like us like breaking up. I thought you
Yeah,
were
that's what I'm
talking
saying.
about-
Like
no,
something like that. You
that's
wouldn't-
something like no. Like I didn't ask for that, and
Okay.
obviously like that's different. I thought you were talking about like in a relationship we broke up and like hey like no.
You never taken something back.
You talking about me
Yeah.
taking something back
Yeah.
from
You're
somebody.
confusing me. Yeah.
You asking two different questions at the same
No,
time.
I'm asking the same. I think I'm asking the same question.
So have I taken something back that I give
Yeah.
to
So you
somebody?
gave somebody something in a relationship. Have
So
you
that's a
taken it back?
completely different question that you just asked. But anyway,
That question.
yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, I feel like I answered this before.
What was it?
I ain't gonna get into no details, but I did.
All right. What was the value? Like over $100?
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was 200.
Was it like a chain or something? What was it?
It was electronic.
Not electronic?
It wasn't electronic.
It was?
Yeah.
Well, you got an Apple Watch. Man.
No. It's close, but no.
Oh, you got a. Oh, yeah, that's serious. What you get? Some,
Have you ever taken something?
I've only been in one relationship in my life, so not yet.
Not yet.
No,
You say count your days.
Nah, I haven't, man. I'm not too proud to though, but I guess it does to me.
You say you're not too proud to?
Nah, take something back. Hell no.
Some
Some
people
people,
ask, is that a pride thing for somebody?
I think so for some people. like the Quavo thing, I think he said like, oh, you know, that's a gift. Like I'm not taking it back, but I don't. Especially if you do me dirty, like I don't have no. If anything, I have pride enough to take it back. Like you fucked me over. Like I need that car back. I need that Tamagotchi watch back. Whatever it is.
Tamagotchi.
Whatever those things are. But yeah.
God, like a lot of people say I did that because I love you type stuff. So like, if I say I love you, I always got love for you, so you can have it. Nah.
That sounds good.
Nah.
That sounds good.
I can still love you, but still take my stuff back.
Why do people give like a fuck about celebrities so much? Why do people-
I don't know, because I was just about to say it when you first brought this up. I'm like, a lot of people made such a big deal out of it, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm like, what's the big deal about it?
Right.
People break up every day.
Every day. I don't understand. I mean, people, and this makes me think about the Kardashians. But I'll get to that in a second. But just, I don't know. Maybe people just are bored with their lives. I don't know.
I mean, I understand, like, it's captivating, you know,
Mm-hmm.
seeing people of that stature, you know, I guess go through everyday things like that, like us. I don't know. But at the same time, like I said, they bleed like us, they people like us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're obviously going through everyday problems like we do. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, they got different means to go through them problems, but at the end of the day, it's just like, it's another first time you saw somebody go through a bad breakup.
But I think it might be that more than anything, just like the negativity behind it. Like, you want to see these people go through bad shit.
Yeah.
In all honesty, because, well, I mean, people, it's mostly girls. I hate when girls do that too. Like, I love this relationship. I want to be something like this. How can you compare your relationship to
Don't do that.
You do not.
Don't do that.
It's crazy, bro.
Because they,
What?
no.
Go ahead. I wanna-
Because like when they base their stuff off, like, I'm not gonna say they, when people base their,
Girls?
when people,
All right.
males and females, base their ideals of a relationship off of what they see on social media or from other people. Obviously, like, you just seeing what they want you to see.
Right.
They showing you all the good stuff.
They can
That
literally
person-
not like each other.
They could post a picture in DR
Mhm.
looking happy as hell, but as soon as they press send, they start getting likes, they arguing.
Yeah. Or they just, well, literally, they could just not like each
Or
other.
just don't like each other at all.
I think that happened the whole, like, the baby and daddy lady. I don't think they really dated. Like, it was just,
That was a lot.
that was so fast. It was together and apart so fast.
Yeah.
The Quavo Saweetie thing might be that.
You don't know what's behind a lot of these like
Yeah.
relationships. Like, it's just good for the image,
Mhm.
good for the look. You don't know who's saying, "Hey, you might want to link up with this person for a little bit. I think this would be a nice rep for you."
Yeah.
That's why I never like buy into like celebrity like relationships. Never. You can't.
I love when people get, like, the people who are really invested in it, they get so mad. Like, like I saw a lot of people just pissed off at Quavo. How could you do this to her? I'm like, you don't know either one.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
She could be a horrible person. She could be a horrible,
Right.
She could fart all the time. Like, you just, who knows? Like, anything.
Not that that makes anybody bad. I'm just saying.
Some,
you know, might
some
be a
people
lot of
can't
people-
tolerate something.
Some people can, but hey, I'm just throwing it out there. I gotta find a balance.
Okay. But you can't be farting all the time. That's like,
I mean, what?
step outside.
You a human being. Sometimes you just
Step
gotta
outside.
go.
You want to step outside when you fart?
I'll let it go, brother.
Bro, I was.
You know
Me
what?
and V's been together for like, I think 2.5, going on 3 years now. Maybe twice. And it was both by accident.
Really?
Bro, I step outside, step in the bathroom.
Are you just scared, or you just like just feel
Nah,
like
I
she's
just
judging?
like, no, not that, I don't care. But just, I don't want to be, I don't know, I just feel bad. I don't want
I feel
to,
bad for what?
I don't want you to smell my fart.
I mean, that's.
What?
I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into this.
No, go ahead.
Just like, man, like, sorry, I gotta
I can't
go.
let it.
I can't. You know, I
I
can't.
always step out. I don't care, we be driving, I've pulled the car over and like got out before.
Did the old Chinese fire drill. Just got out.
Shut
Let it rip.
I was like, what? Well, okay, I remember the car, bro. Man, but yeah, I can't do it, man. That, I don't know. And she hasn't done it around me. Maybe
So
when I
it's
was
not a
sick.
comfort thing. It's just something y'all choose not to do.
Yeah, I think she chooses not to do it because I choose not to do it, but I'm fine with that. Like, that's one of the few things where I'm like,
Has she ever?
no. Not while I've been awake. She told me like maybe while I was asleep once she did it, but like, not while I'm conscious. And it was like REM sleep, like deep slumber,
So it's going on 2 years.
over 2 years.
So what are some other things that y'all like haven't, like what people consider normal? to do around their significant other that y'all have?
I don't like to pee in front of her. I don't.
I mean,
Do that. Some people do it. I don't know, some people think that's like normal.
no. I don't like when people say like, this is goals and there's like a picture of a guy taking a dude and
Yeah, I've
his
never-
girl's in the shower. Like that's
Ever.
that's weird. That's
But how's that different? Because it's a fart. It's just a
no,
person. A fart's
fart is
just
like
like-
innocent. Like if I'm taking a duke in front, that's just
Duke.
completely like just
This
out
guy's
there and violent.
70 years old.
But you know what I mean? That's just come on. That's a little much.
Bro, I don't know. I just can't do it. The taking shit thing specifically.
That's
but,
weird. That's weird.
But farting, I just can't do it, man. I feel bad. I got some loud farts sometimes. I got a weird digestive system. I only go to the bathroom like once every 3 days.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, it's like true. Some people think I lie.
I go every day at 7:30 in the morning, on and out.
You just go once.
Once.
I heard you're supposed to go 5 times a day.
That's I don't know who does that, but if anybody's
supposed to.
doing that, I pray for you.
But yeah, man, I just can't do it. I think that's it. Other than that, we're like fairly normal. Like, I don't know. I don't like when she leaves her like, hair in the sink. Girls do that shit.
They do that all the time.
But yeah, other than that, just don't fart around me. I don't care. Like everything else is pretty much cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't like make me out like I'm just weird.
I'm not. I'm not. I was just
You
curious.
let your girl fart in front of you?
Dude, you said do I let?
Yeah, you allow that?
I mean, she's a human being.
I didn't ask what ratio it was.
No,
You like-
I'm not going to be
you
like,
allow
just,
that?
hey, don't do that. Like, if you gotta go. But
You gotta go outside.
I will say after the words, if it's like past that threshold, like okay, like you did it, I can live with it, or if like you just fouled, you gotta get. Then that's when you address
It's too late.
it.
The damage is done though.
But then that's when you like she kind of gauges where like she knows like she can feel it. You know what type of one of those is going to be. She
Mhm.
can kind of like step out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You kind of give them leeway. But I'm not the guy. But hey, like don't fart around me. I'm not going to be like that.
I don't tell her to, but I just like you better know when you come up in here. Like ain't gonna be none of that. Cause I respect you, so you like respect my nose. Feel me?
Hey, man, hey,
Don't-
it's your household, bro.
You right.
It's your household, bro.
Right about
It's
that.
your household, my household. You know?
You right about that. So I just come in the house and fart.
No, not you. Not you, brother.
Why is it okay for her?
It's different when a man come in my household. It's different. It's different. It's different, brother. It's different. It's my space. You know, it's my territory. You know, it's different.
Contradictory.
No, it's not. I don't go in your career fight.
Yeah, cause exactly like everybody else, you fall.
Because I respect
appreciate
your
it.
boundaries.
And like everybody else.
Me
yeah.
and my lady established that. So how am I contradicting myself?
No, you letting everybody else fart.
I'm letting her.
You let your parents
I'm
fart.
letting her.
Your parents fart too.
I owe my parents a debt that I can never pay back. So if they want
Hey,
to let
man.
one go, by all means.
My mom knows.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding. No, man. But yeah, so we could be one of those, like just a fart, like chronic fart. That's what I assumed it was. Like Quayle was like, hey man, I got these are my guidelines, not guidelines, but these are some boundaries I'm trying to
I'm not gonna
keep
budge.
intact.
Yeah.
And she was just like, well, like just let them go.
That was the first they did it.
That wasn't sweet. But yeah, so yeah,
I
it was
really
fun.
didn't want to laugh.
But no, I find it funny, like the people who are like really invested in this and just, like I said, a Quavo the dog, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, man, you're not looking at it from. It's just like you just don't know what's going on in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I feel about a lot of stuff.
What?
I don't want to bring it up again, but
They don't know what you about.
that Deshaun Watson thing.
What about?
Just a simple fact, like you hear all this stuff, but you
Yeah.
don't really know. But
Yeah.
now in today's society, like you're guilty, like right off the
Yeah.
bat, until like proven it, innocent.
Mhm.
Whereas like you're in the past, you're innocent until proven guilty. But these days, like it's damn near you can't be like, well, I don't know, without somebody saying like, how can you like condone that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I just feel uncomfortable about that.
Yeah, there's no like. I mean, you're not allowed to be. You're not allowed to have like. There's no like grace period for anything.
No.
Like you have to like. Something happens, you immediately have to
Have
pick
to
a side.
pick a side.
Like, you're either for or against it. Like what most time people don't even know what they are for or against
Right.
within the first 48 hours of it.
Right.
happening. Like you don't even know. All the facts aren't even out. So
That's what
how
I'm
can you
saying.
form an
It's
opinion?
just like with the Tory and Meg Thee Stallion thing, and if you're just like, well, I don't know the story, then it's all of a sudden you don't care about protecting women. Like,
Yeah.
whoa,
That's just
whoa,
wild. Also,
whoa.
one thing about that, I was thinking this the other day, the Tory and Meg situation. I find it so crazy that I'm not saying who's right, wrong, who lied, or told the truth.
Be careful, brother.
But no, I'm just saying, I'm just observing this. From what I observed, the dude hasn't been charged with anything. He's still out here moving around like, I know if motherfucker shot me, and then I went on camera saying like, this person shot me, like, and everything was true, everything added up, like, I assume that person
That's
would
not
be
like a civil case. That's
charged.
like I'm trying to get you like criminally behind bars.
But he's out here, like, so I don't know, but that's
I haven't heard a
crazy.
peep out of that story. in the
Literally, it
longest
was
time.
so crazy. I'm just like, what took place with that? But I don't know, man. Yeah, people are just so quick to get judged, so quick to form an opinion, and this kind of spins over to another thing I want to talk about. Like people going out of their way just to fit in, or just doing stuff for like the approval of society around them. Most people that they don't even fucking like. What are the things you've seen someone do? Or is there everything that you've done for the approval of your peers? We've all done it.
I'm about
at some
something
point.
we've all done. I can't think of.
Jump off this cliff, Juan. Cool.
I would say like
Base jumping.
yeah, I've done some stupid shit.
Like what?
I can't think, but like, yeah, there's been plenty of stupid shit that I've done. Off the top of my head, I don't want to get like, I don't know.
You incriminate yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But there's been some things I've done that I normally wouldn't have done if I wasn't under that. Hey, like, if I just do this, maybe
They'll like.
yeah, maybe they'll like it. Maybe they accept me. No, but it's like I said, we all done it before. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any other examples, but like, yeah.
Personally, no, because I've always been like a lone wolf. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that. What?
Go ahead.
I was telling. I've just always been on my own. But no, one of the things I notice a lot is okay, marriage,
Wow.
relationships or marriage.
Okay.
How often do you see someone either in a relationship that from the outside looking in looks pretty bad, or this person doesn't look happy, or even a marriage,
But they're in it because.
but they're in it because like, oh, but they're in it because like, well, let's stick with marriage. One, just getting married. Like, how often, or have you ever heard of a girl like once a girl's past, I'd say 28, people look at them crazy if they're not married by that age. And then once a girl is in a marriage, girl or anybody, girl, guy, whatever. You ever heard the notion like, oh, divorce isn't an option for me, or some shit like that? Like, I'm like, why not? If it's a bad marriage,
Yeah, why
I was like, I've never understood. Even as a kid, I'm like, why not? Like, I don't know people. What's the stigma about getting divorced? Like, what's so wrong with that? If you're not happy, if you're being
Are you familiar with the guy,
what?
Kevin Samuels?
No,
Well,
who's
he's like, he has his own
this the dude
radio.
that cheated on this girl who was like
No, not him. Not that maniac.
He's fucking
Not him.
Good.
That guy is wild. But he has his own radio show / podcast, whatever. And he basically like gives like dating advice to like females or whatever. They call in and they say, prime example, well, hey, I need some advice. Tony Ye, I got a kid, recently divorced, whatever, blah, blah, blah. My standards are X, Y, and Z, though. And he'll basically just be like, mad blunt, like, you can't have your standards like that, basically, because your value is not where your standards should be, because you have a kid.
Damn.
This is literally how he talks to me. You have a kid,
Whoa.
you're divorced,
Ugh.
you're 28,
Sheesh.
you say you want this of me, but you got this and this and that going on with you. Basically, just like,
Yeah.
and so, like, I guess to that point,
Mm.
I don't know, it just makes it hard when people are out there who think like that.
Yeah.
I don't, and you hear it, I don't know. Like, I personally don't see, like, the problem with, okay, if you're unhappy and you're in a marriage, get a divorce.
Yeah.
No sense in wasting your time and your years being unhappy.
Right.
But you hear people like that talk about that situation, whereas, okay, if I get back out here and somebody hears that I'm divorced or the person I'm interested in, that gets out, then I'm just dead in the water. Nobody's gonna be, at least I'm married now.
Yeah.
Whereas if I get the divorce, who knows if I find another person.
That's so crazy.
It's wild to me, but you got people like the Kevin Samuels guy who just like, I want a person you because you got a kid, because you've been married and not married no more.
That's insane. Man.
It's like I don't get it, but
don't get me wrong, people should have the right to choose, like, if they want to be involved with a person
Yeah.
who has, because everyone has baggage,
Right.
absolutely everyone, so you should be able to choose, like, you shouldn't be looked down upon for not, like, let's say the guy doesn't want to be with that girl because she has a kid, like, to something that may seem like an asshole.
That's his right.
Yeah, but that is his right.
Wait, you can't project that onto that.
Yeah, you can't
because
project that onto a girl.
some other dude might be like, all right, that's cool with me.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like this, I don't know.
Yeah. 'Cause I remember I think I made a joke about, or I used to make a joke about, like, Jennifer Lopez. From the outside looking in, this is, even at 50, I think she's like 51
I
or
know
2
what you're
now.
getting at, brother.
She's beautiful, still. Maybe more so than ever. I think she's been married like 4 times.
Yeah.
So I used to say, like, what's wrong with Jennifer Lopez? That she keeps getting divorced and having to get remarried.
She might be a serial fart. I don't know.
It might be that, ugly toes, I don't know. But
I may do it for some, yeah.
But no, man, I used to make that joke, but the older I get, the more of an adult I do become. I'm still growing, so I hope this gets. But just, yeah, shit. If you weren't happy, like, be out. Try again. Like,
It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, like, really, be out. Try
You
again.
got one life to live,
Yeah, why not?
so if you tried it once and don't work out, they say try again. So
Mhm.
I don't understand as to why, like you said, you put yourself in the situation, or keep yourself in the situation rather, if you're unhappy.
Right. And also, the kind of flip side of the scenario we were just talking about, like the girl, oh, you got a kid, like, you're divorced. Men would line up to marry Jennifer Lopez if she was divorced 10 times. So it's like, it's just I mean, I get how the situations are different. Like, there's Jennifer Lopez, she's rich, famous, and then this girl over here is just an average human being.
Everybody's somebody's everything.
Yeah. But you had a chance to rap a song you just stole.
Hey, I did. Yeah, it fits.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It fits. Just because you may not be it for me, doesn't mean you may not be everything for somebody.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Can call it trash if it's treasure. That's how I see it, brother.
All right. Well, one man's trash, another man's recycling. I don't know. But no, I get what you're saying, man. But yeah, so that's one example that I just really thought of. Yeah, marriage. This kind of goes along with marriage, fucking having kids. If you look at a girl who's, like I said, around that 28 age, you don't have kids. What's wrong with you? Like, whoa, wow. Kids aren't for everybody. Like, some people really don't understand.
Don't understand that.
Some
Yeah.
people
You
really-
can't project what your ideals of what life is and should be to you onto somebody else.
And just how often have you seen just one thing I find so annoying, like, now that I am in a relationship, I cannot fucking stand when it's somebody from my family, like her family, or even just a friend, like, just, when are you guys having kids? Like, it gets under my, I'm like,
Don't do that.
I'm like,
I gotta do that to joke.
Yeah, I know, it's all good, I already know. But some people be serious, like,
Be mad serious. I know. I've been there.
yeah, we were at her house one time, and it was like her uncle got drunk as fuck. And she pulls me to the side. One. What? I should say they're messing. This is me funny. One, like, you married Vanessa? I was like,
Bro, don't do that.
I was like, yeah, man, like, someday, like, we good right now, like. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bro, like, you should know, you a guy, like, you should know how this works. But
Yeah, don't do that.
don't do that.
Come on, brother.
Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all have kids? I'm like, like, come on. She's already trying to get a cat and stuff. I'm not trying to get a cat. Like, so it's just like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times people, like, it's amazing how outside forces can affect a relationship. I don't know how I just spun into this.
No,
But just how the echoes of, like, people on the outside can, over time, like, just
Take
see
effect.
thoughts,
Yeah.
take effect.
yeah.
And so over time, like, one person in the relationship, their point of view or their spectrum starts to change just based off what they're hearing. So they're like, oh, maybe we should just get married now. Why haven't we got married? I'm like, oh shit, I thought we were living it up right here. I got a theory. I don't think marriage would exist. I don't know who thought of marriage first.
I don't know.
I'm
I've
really
had this
curious.
thought too.
Like, who
I
thought
had
of
this
marriage?
thought too.
Because what really is the point of getting married? I know, like, all the cliche answers, but what is the point? Like, if we're together, we're happy. Like,
And people,
what is the point other than to show off to the people around us? to be accepted in society, what's the point? If you mind, you mind. Like, you know, just for what?
I'm
Just so you can brag, like so
I'm
you can have
following you.
career? I just think
I'm
the shit
there.
makes no sense.
I'm there.
Like if you really think about
I'm
it.
there.
Do you just want to pay more in taxes? Do you want?
I'm there.
Like,
I'm there.
what is the point? It's I can't think of a pro to it. If I really think about it.
I mean, you got people who I don't know.
And then think about divorce.
And then
You
that's
get divorced, you lose half of your shit.
And that's what I'm saying. It's because I don't know if this is the concept of marriage. I don't know where it started, but obviously it exists. And a lot of people, whatever their religious backgrounds,
Okay.
maybe that's what they follow. They
Yeah.
follow that path. Find somebody, get engaged, get married, have a kid, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Some do it at a fairly young age,
Yeah.
and obviously that leads to divorce.
Yes.
And so I'm just like, okay, like you went through all these steps that society told you that you had to go through,
And you're miserable. And now
you
separate.
what was once one is now two again.
and now
separate.
you're shunned by society.
And now and so like I just don't get who made this construct of that's how things should be, and
And just how is it taking over people's like, this is what it has to be. And just think about throwing a kid into that. How that fucks up a kid. My parents are divorced, like blah, blah, blah. Think about the looks, like as a kid, 'cause my parents got divorced. I can remember the looks on people's faces when I tell them that. Like I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, oh, my parents divorced. Like luckily it didn't affect me like that, but I can see how it very well would affect some kids, and it does. But I can remember the looks on people's faces when I tell them, oh my gosh, oh. Like I'm like, what? They just don't live together. It's like,
it's me from what I've seen. I mean, a lot of times where you go down that path, and you've seen people who have divorced and they can still coexist.
yeah.
But more times than not, if they go through like the divorce, it's like,
Oh, it's toxic.
we're done, we're toxic.
Yeah.
But I've seen where people who've had a kid
Mm-hmm.
didn't work out for whatever reason, they can coexist and co-parent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as toxic as going through like, I hate you, we went through the divorce thing, blah blah blah. Like I took half, whatever the case may be that comes with going through the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, why go through all of that versus just hey, if we don't work out, we don't work out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And just also like you just said, like a lot of people get married young. Could you really imagine making a decision like that? Like I know some people who got married like a year or two right after high school.
I can't.
19, 20,
I can't.
imagine it. Let's just get married. Like, yeah, I'm like, all right, like, I'm clapping up for y'all, but okay, like, you sure?
Hey,
That's a volatile situation. You're dealing with two kids, like being married now, like that we're under the same roof. Potentially about to have a kid soon if we're not careful, which we very well may not be being that young, living together. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a recipe for it could be a recipe for disaster.
it's tough. Yeah, I don't know. Where are you at? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but like,
What?
I know her uncle put you on the spot and asked, but like,
I was
have-
so pissed when he asked me that shit. Like I wanted to punch him. Like, bro.
Has that been something you thought about?
What? Punch him? Yeah.
Yeah, see, I can.
Wanted to knock his shit off.
no, that's valid.
But no, I mean, the crazy thing is, like I said, this is my first relationship. I've thought about marriage like down the line, but
It's nothing.
I am absolutely in no rush whatsoever. And
no rush.
I'll say right here, right now, like if we are to get married someday in the future, it will strictly be because like that is what she wants, not because of like, oh me, I'm dying to get married. Like I've been. You ever hear girls say like, oh, I've been planning my wedding day since I was a kid. What? Really? For what? Like that's what you're thinking
Right.
about? I wasn't thinking about that at all.
Right. I don't.
Like, why is that implanted in kids' heads? Like, that's a little weird to be honest. I was thinking about getting married. Like,
It's something that like you just don't have to rush. I just
Yeah.
don't understand that's something you want to have to jump. Because that's again, like you said, that's from your standpoint, that's something that she would want. But that's still at the end of the day, just going off what society puts on it. That's still a huge thing to go through.
yeah, absolutely.
And it's a business that you have to go
I'll
through.
tell another story. Just staying on our relationship. So, I said my first ever relationship in my life. I remember our first like 2 or 3 months kicking it. Like we were just hanging out. Like we were together. I was together almost every other day. She didn't meet my mom, like I said, till like the third month. we start talking in December. I think she met in February, like early February. So I remember we sit down to eat. My mom walks in. It's me and we. Olive Garden. I'm gonna embrace this. We're talking. Everything's going good, and like I know with this, my mom. I've never introduced a girl to my mom before. That's something I never did. I've talked to other girls, but like I always was good about, hey, if it's real, like okay, we can do that. If it's not, there's no need for you to be moms. Like I've always been like that. My brother, he's a little different, but I'll say that for when he comes to the pod. He's on my berry.
I can imagine. We gotta have him on.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk to him. He's gonna be there. He's a little different, but yeah. So my mom, off the bat, she knows it's a big deal. I tell her like, hey, somebody wants you to meet. So she's like, what? Like you introduced me to a girl? Like okay, this must mean something. So we sit down, we're eating. They start talking, and in my head, I'm like, okay, it's going good. Like it's just me knowing my mom, I can tell off the bat if mom ain't rocking with me. It only take me 5 minutes, like if that. So I can tell off the bat. So I can tell my mom like is, getting into it. She's trying to hold back just to remain stern and keep her composure, but she's like liking me.
She engaged.
Yeah, she's engaged. So out of nowhere, like I'm eating pasta, like my mom just goes, so like, what are you guys? I froze up. Mom, what the
You're supposed to keep it cool.
What the hell? So I was
How'd you answer?
in my head, fuck. Damn it. I go, I was like, you my girlfriend, ain't you? Like, not like I said it to me. I was like, you my girlfriend, ain't you? She was like, no. My mom said, what are you guys? And then V was like, I don't. And they just both looked at me. And I'm like, fuck.
So that's when it
I'm like,
became
the
official.
two women I love the most just staring me
Put you
fucking
on
down.
top.
Yeah, I'm like,
Your mom's basically say green light, and you
Yeah.
just had it.
So I just had to duck it home.
Yeah.
I thought she was my girlfriend. What else? She was like, I don't know. You never asked me anything. But keep in mind, she doesn't know this. And I told her like months later. I'm like, you were my girlfriend for like 2 months at that point. I just didn't tell you about it.
I think I vaguely remember you like asking me like, did you have to ask her?
Yeah, I asked. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm like, why
now
gotta
that
ask?
you
Like,
say
why
that,
it's
yeah.
like natural. Like you around all the time. I was assuming.
And I just
you
basically
assume.
say, look, it's something you just gotta do.
Weird. Again. Another like why? You know what I mean?
Hindsight, yeah. It's just like, it's something you just gotta do.
Pressure me. But
I didn't pressure you.
Pressure.
But I'm like, yeah, look, hey.
So, and that's how I go. I'm like, oh, she's like, well, you never asked me. I'm like, all right, so you want my girlfriend? Like, right there for my mom. And like, here we are.
That's dope, man.
No, it's not.
That's dope.
Because my mom didn't have to ask me that. But, yeah, man, there's just another example of like, to that point, she hadn't said anything. Like, she hadn't asked. She never. She
about it, obviously.
I think I knew she was, but I wasn't sure. But in my head,
For
I'm
the
like,
2 months that you said
I'm
that
like,
she was your
man,
girlfriend.
I'm like, we're going everywhere together.
Yeah.
Like, you're with me every single day. Like, I'm in my head, I'm like, you a girl already.
What's understood don't gotta be explained.
Yeah, exactly. But she was still like waiting on that. So, yeah, it's just funny, man.
Then
yeah,
comes with that, it's like the expectation that you gotta make the post.
Yeah.
Do that.
Why I do? And then it could, like it just keeps going even different. Like social media and stuff like that. Like I don't post a lot as is. Before while I'm single, I don't post a lot of pictures. I just don't take a lot of pictures. But like I'm like I really found myself thinking like, am I supposed to be posting a bunch of pictures of girls? Like, is that the thing? Like, do I gotta do that? And then to one day I really asked her about it. I was like, hey man, does it like bother you that I don't post a lot of pictures of us or something like that? I was like, just straight up the answer. She was like, honestly, no. She was like, but a lot of my friends know this. I was like, man, Jesus. So I was like, man,
Keita was like, you don't, because I think I posted a picture of Cam or something like that.
Mhm.
And she was, wow, that's crazy. You don't post me no more. So, of course, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you for real?
You got your own page?
That gets me to my next point. I'm like, what do you mean about that? She goes, no, I'm just joking. I'm like, no, you wouldn't have said it if you, like,
There was some truth behind it.
that's what I'm saying. Every joke has some truth behind it. So, like,
Yeah.
is this something? Because, like,
Yeah.
if by all means, if it means that much to you, then okay.
Yeah, do
But if you just say, no, I'm fine, then you're good.
it. Right.
But to your point, it's my page.
Mm.
Everybody knows I'm with you.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I love you.
Yeah.
Everybody. I don't do wrong by you in any type of way.
But-
It's my page. If I want to post something about me, I want to post something about me. Or my son.
Yeah, our son.
Our son
that we have.
that we have together. That everybody knows that we have together. Like I don't get it.
Oh my god.
I don't get it.
Dude, That shit is so funny.
I don't get it. It blows me. It blows
Just-
my mind.
Just when she said that to me though, I was just like, man. Cause I already I started to catch on to that shit already. But when she just really kind of peeled the layer back and like told me like all like the discussions going on behind the scenes, I'm like, man, stop listening to your friends. Like,
They be in there.
dude, like y'all driving each other crazy.
Thank you.
Stop.
They be in that group
And
text,
I
bro.
just feel like not to talk down on girl. It's just different, bro. They just guys don't talk like this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey man, hey dog, she ain't post me. Like, all right.
Well, all right, well, so what you know then?
Yeah, like, what's up?
What you trying to do? I don't. Yeah. They be in that group text.
Bro,
I do it. I do it, bro.
Straight up, straight up.
I do it.
Don't let them have a sister. That's like the main driving force is just. He knew what? Oh my god, bro, this is so funny.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it's so
That's
funny.
funny. That's funny. Oh man.
It was,
Problems of being happy.
Yeah, yeah.
We're happy. We're
All
very
jokes.
happy.
All jokes. Nobody get mad.
Wouldn't trade you guys for anything.
Maybe a Kia.
Probably a Bentley.
But no, man, that shit is funny. You know, Patrice O'Neal is
Yeah.
a comedian, man. So I just kind of became hip to him like in the past like couple of months. And
He's like real ruthless, right? Like,
Oh,
he's like, cutthroat. Yeah.
if he was the RIP, he passed away back, I think 2014. Yeah, if he was alive today, like shit,
They would have got him out of here.
been on his ass. But he's hilarious though, man. Like brilliant with his comedy. The what I just said about just like the situation with me, my mom, and how my mom was just like, you know, where are you guys? He had a joke about that, just pretty much how outside people start to like he had a girl that he wasn't dating, or he was dating but she didn't know it. He's like, yeah, I mess with this girl, but she don't know we dating. Like that's how he phrased it. And he was just like, I'm keeping her expectations low, because as soon as we start to like listen to people on the outside, her expectations will start to go up as far as like I need a title.
Yeah.
All right, I got this title. I need the next title.
Yeah.
All right, I need the next title. I need this to go with the title. Like just all that type of shit. And it was a joke, obviously, but there was a lot of truth.
Not true. Yeah.
A lot of truth in it, man. So it just really made me laugh. Like look at that.
That's real.
And realize like, yeah, I see it.
It's crazy. I mean, we talking about a very broad like topic, but how we all live the same life, damn near, in a sense,
Yeah.
in a nutshell. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But no, like, that's real. But just like I said, it just comes with this territory.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so much shit people do just to be accepted, man. Cars, clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, shit you buy in general. The whole buying a house. Buying a house. That's supposedly, like, what is the American dream?
White House and the picket. I said White House. Big house and the picket fence.
Big house, big fence, and married.
And married. Yep, you're right.
And married. Why is it like, don't get me wrong, I think it's a good investment to buy a house. Like, it's most likely going to appreciate over time if you take care of it. But for some people, that's not, it's just not for some people. They don't want to take care of the house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get it. Why is it that is just, like people get shunned for renting. Like, oh, you're renting? Like, what? Like, you guys don't want to.
Who's doing the shunning?
You never see someone talk like, oh, like, why are y'all renting? Like, just go buy a house. Like, you're just wasting money. Like, well,
The
I saw
LLC
some.
people.
Yeah, what?
The LLC people, entrepreneur people doing that.
That was probably a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I saw a study where they did the math over like 30 years. I forgot what the price of the house was that they based it off of. The person paying rent at the apartment paid less money out than the person to take care of a house, which I think you wouldn't have to do a study for that. Like, this house is your responsibility. You know what I'm
Everything
saying?
that comes with it.
So why is that like the standard? Like, you gotta buy this house. Like, who probably put that out? The people who were trying to sell their houses. Like, who started that? Were people trying to sell their houses.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a great. Like, yeah, go buy houses. Like, I got one to sell right here. If you want to buy it. Like,
Right. Yeah.
that's just funny, bro.
It's one of those things, like you said, it's what's always been like, the ideal thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's situation is different.
Yeah, for sure. I think you should buy a house. Though.
Oh yeah, eventually. But
Yeah.
like, for one, like the market's gotta be right for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be the right situation.
Which in this day and age, that's impossible. But you know, that's when you wait.
Yeah.
And you rent for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's always going to be there.
Right.
It's a short-term option. Nobody says that lease is forever. So think about a lease. You can always get, you may have to cough up a little change, but if you find something, then you cough up that little change and get out of it.
Yeah.
Move into something that you want to do.
I hate my fucking park.
All right, you mentioned that. So where you at with that?
Uh,
You ain't got to tell people where, but I have an idea. Is it?
I don't know, man. I think I might stay, like sign another lease there. But I don't know.
It's like a divorce, but I can tell you're not happy, so why?
It's just, I don't know. I think I'm just like outgrown it. There's not a lot of space to, like,
I know, but why stay there if you're not happy?
what? I mean, but it's like no other real viable option up there. Like anywhere else I go right now, it's going to
What the place I told you?
it's gonna go up. And another thing I'm trying to save money right now to eventually get that house that I don't need.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I think I'm gonna just stay a little longer.
Nothing wrong with that.
I ain't tripping. It's just, and more than anything else, I think I'm just like ready to look at something new.
Mhm.
Me just being tired of being there.
Yeah.
But I've been in this situation before where I know I want something, but it's not exactly the time to do it.
Right.
So it's like stay in the pocket a little longer. You know, stay in the kitchen, keep cooking,
Yeah.
keep cooking.
Yeah.
Something else is coming. So it's like,
All right.
situation.
That's valid.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. It was like that when I bought my car. I don't know why. You know, I was in this exact situation.
So you made the wrong decision then, you said?
Fuck. Yeah. I should have never bought my car. I bought my car when I was like 21. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. That's the thing about it.
You gotta live and you learn. I mean, like, look,
That was like a lesson I will remember forever.
but it's a lesson that you learn.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And you made it early.
yeah. I've been through some shit over my car. Jesus, bro. But no, it was crazy to see that. I don't even know how we just got here. That exact same situation I was in with my car, like it came when it was time for me to make a decision on my apartment.
It's like just now.
Yeah, like I just thought about it. I thought about it and I laughed. I was like, oh shit, I'm thinking about all the shit I did or went through, like about my car. Because I was about to move to a place that was more expensive just because they have more space. It was going to be a lot more expensive.
Is it a place I told you?
Different. It was Canterbury, I said.
Was it more expensive than what I told you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
But this is before we had even talked about that. Because I was like, I had filled out applications,
Oh, really?
got approved for it. Like,
Maybe was it like a townhome or something like that?
it was,
It had-
there's just, it wasn't.
If it was way
townhome.
more expensive than the place I
It was
told
it was bigger than what I got, and then it was their apartments are just more expensive, like across the board. Their rates fluctuate over time, so you can catch a deal where it's just like super low, or if you get it at the wrong time, it's just gonna be super high. So
Yeah.
it just depends. Then like I think utilities and shit are high as fuck over there.
Mhm.
What I was about to do it, I was like, man, I just need something new. I'm about to do it. You gotta pay for everything. You need a parking pass. I don't know why the fuck I need
You
a
got
parking
a parking
pass.
pass?
Yeah, parking pass.
Any
You gotta pay for
utilities
it
included?
monthly.
No utilities included? Oh, beat it, bro.
I think. I think water might be included, but the amount's like prorated. Like,
Oh,
too.
beat it.
So, bro, it's crazy. Nice apartment. Don't get me wrong. Like, I went and saw it. I was like, oh shit, fly. Like I can see this. I was like, nah, this ain't the right time. Like, I want it, but I'm like, I ain't about to jump the gun. I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just crazy how situations like that just present themselves again. You just learn from shit that you've done
About
in the
that
past.
lesson at 21,
Oh, I might have done it.
you would have done it. That's what I'm saying.
Man, I regret it.
Lessons are blessings, man.
But I regretted. I regretted buying my car the week after I got it. I was like, why did I buy this fucking car? Like, man, I was good with my Buick '94.
Heard that Henny, you just got caught up in the
I
money.
did, like for real. I won't be the Charger. And that's it. Went and got it. I was like, nigga, I'll take this back. No. Sure, it's not. We don't want it.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. But I say that to say this. Can't let outside forces influence you. Because when I bought my car, that's what I was doing. That's part of what I did. I was like, man, wait till I pull up on the scene with this. Pull up the C Street down here.
And when here comes.
Yeah, they can feel it. Whole block gonna shake. I was, it's gonna be it right here. Pull up and boom. I'm like, oh, this? Oh, I just got it.
This whole thing?
This ain't nothing, man. Pulled it out the stash. Crazy, man. That wore off fast.
Real quick.
Fast.
Don't make long-term decisions
Yeah.
with a short-term impact.
Straight up, man.
It's just not worth it.
But I love my car. I'm glad I got my car. I will never buy another car
That's the one you want and done.
in my life until I get like the dream joint. So I can get me what's my dream I don't even know what my dream car is. I just say a Maserati for right now, but I don't even think that's my dream.
That's a good one.
That wasn't my dream. That wasn't my dream. You were Audi guy.
Yeah.
Audi guy. But yeah, Doug.
The moment I hit somewhere, that's the first thing I'm doing. No, actually, I'm getting Cam straight. Then it out.
I'm probably getting some face work done.
Get your cheekbones.
Yeah.
Fine.
This is another thing. I was kind of joking. I want to do everything to my face. I'm mute. But look, I mentioned the Kardashians, man.
Oh man.
We're just talking about, changing yourself or doing stuff for like outside approval.
That's like the epitome of it.
Bro, this is crazy. Charlie was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians earlier this week.
So you what?
No, V was. And I walked down like, and I just thought, I was like, why are you watching this shit? The whole episode was, I think it was kind of focused on Khloe, who used to be my favorite back in the day. I used to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians around like 8th or 9th grade.
It was a Momo. It was like Jersey Shore. You had to watch it.
Yeah, and they're just beautiful women. I'm like, I'm young, whatever, why not? So,
Oh, freak beast.
that's me. There's an episode, Chloe's like about to pose for some magazine, like nude. And there's a scene where she's kind of apprehensive about it, so she's talking to, I think it's Kylie. Yeah, Kylie, who's like a teenager at the time, maybe even that. She's talking to Kylie, and who at the time is Bruce.
That's so crazy to say.
Yeah, bro, the scene is so funny. She's like, I'm kind of apprehensive about doing it. I'm not sure. Bruce straight up tells her, don't you think you can stand to lose a few pounds before you do it?
Damn.
I was like, God. And then Kylie goes, I think she's perfect the way she is.
Oh, that's funny you say that.
I looked at her, I was like, that's just a crazy ass scene because 5 years later, none of them are the same.
None of them.
Nobody in this scene is the same.
Nobody.
Kylie looks completely different.
Chloe went like 4 different people.
Chloe
Who she
looks,
is now.
man, I don't know who she look like. She overdid it damn near more than anybody else, which is crazy. I used to think she had the best personality. Mm-hmm. And Bruce, obviously, he's a woman now. So I was just like, looking at that scene, I'm like, this is insane. Like, how has nobody else pulled the scene before and seen this? But looking at it from, really everybody in the fucking family standpoint, Kylie being like one of the younger sisters, like, if you got Kim, Courtney, Khloe, like, all looking like this, like, this is the norm.
Yeah.
I'm weird for not getting shit done to my body.
Right.
Khloe, you're I think she's the third oldest out of the 3 sisters.
Yeah.
I think. But I'm like, oh shit, you got Kim popping at that time, Courtney popping at that time. And I'm looking at that as the ugly giant. I'm not saying this is other people saying that.
Yeah.
I gotta do something about it. I can't blame her. Like, I gotta look like everybody else, bro. So it's crazy. Again, just outside forces, bro. That whole family is just Kanye. Liposuction.
Man. He lost one.
Well, he's free now. They get divorced.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
I think, yeah, they get divorced. They get divorced, man. I think he's gonna be back.
I don't know.
I think he's gonna come back. He ain't got no choice to.
I don't know.
This is way up. This could all be like, just
getting out the sucking place.
getting out the sunken place, but it could all just be like a plan for them.
That's why
Like, all right,
I
this
think
is my rebirth.
I think Bruce turning into, or transitioning into, who is he now?
Kate.
Caitlyn. Yeah. Like, I think that was just a part of it. I don't know. Like, that was just so far, like, out of, like, again, you don't know people, but, like, I didn't, from what I've seen, like, you didn't see no tendencies, like, leaning that way or nothing like that. It was just one day, it literally was like, boom, I'm Caitlyn. Like, for me, that's how I was like, whoa, what the hell? Like,
Bro, I was watching, because we watched like 2 episodes back to back, because it became fascinating. One, I was like, initially, why are you watching this?
Mhm.
Because there's a point where they try to get Kim to like see a therapist because she has a spending problem. I'm like, I don't want to watch this boy. I don't want to watch them complain about how rich they are. Like, I don't want to watch this.
Rich
shit.
people.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you might go broke one day. This is also like 10 years ago, so now she's a billionaire, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like, man, why are you watching this? But it just, yeah, I can see something about Bruce. I can see it, bro.
I mean, it was just been
I
blind.
can see it, bro. He was always funny. I always found him funny as hell.
That's what, and that's
He was
when,
hilarious.
from what I remember, he was like just hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, just really like it just was such a fast like transition from boom to boom. Like I was just like, okay, that was just I don't know where the hell that came from, but this is it. You know what I mean? Like, this,
I think to that point, I think he was I don't know what year that happened. It feels so long ago at this point. But I believe he's like the first transgender person I ever saw. Like for real, for real.
that's, I mean, for people to like embody like who they wanted to be, like, as far as I can remember either.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
just
the
to
first
be so
time I
open
ever
about it, like this is who I was, but this is who I am now, and
Mhm.
y'all just want to live with it. Like I was like, all right, that's new, but okay. But he was like the first, or she was like the first one to like really take that stand
Yeah.
and put herself out there.
Man, it's just so fucking crazy.
That whole like I don't, and for them to be like the first family of like America,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Essentially, like it's so wild to me.
Bro, that's insane. How can all this be going on?
I am one family. You know what I mean?
That's insane.
You
But
got-
they're all like just rich as hell. That's just the brand. I think it's all.
It's all
Part of me thinks it
intertwined.
is like a part of just like, all right, what can we do this?
I
and
never
just
think
spice
the
it up?
U.S. government has a hand in it.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like
Maybe.
from where that family started to like empire that it really is now.
Yeah.
Where everybody's basically in an individual right, if not a billionaire, almost there.
Mhm.
I've never seen anything like that. That's to me, that's insane.
They might be aliens.
All from
Like,
Ray J.
for real. All from Ray J. That's
All from Ray J.
unsung hero. Unsung hero.
Going down in the history books, that's the biggest unsung hero.
You gotta hit it first.
The guy. But to talk about like I did that, now look what happened off of that. There will be nothing ever like that ever again.
Bro, it is insane to think about. Just talking about Kim, all of them really, but just strictly Kim, how different she looks. Like from the reason I heard about Kim Kardashian first was like that sex tape. I think this is like 6th or 7th grade.
This is crazy to think about.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
To like finally watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and then 10 years later to now, she looks from Keeping Up with the Kardashians to that sex tape. She looks completely different. Like I'm like, oh shit.
Like besides, if I get them wrong, correct me. Courtney and Kendall,
Mhm.
I think everybody's been through like 3 different bodies. Or
Yeah,
three different versions of them.
Courtney looks pretty much the same.
Right, and as far as I can remember, well, Kendall, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She looks pretty. I don't think she has a period of
But-
that you can do.
I guess everybody else though, you could literally like time stamp like when they look different, like
Yeah.
completely different,
Oh yeah.
and it's just mind boggling. Like
Chris looks the same. The mom.
Oh, well,
That's crazy. Like she's like, I'm just here.
she got that young, got that young love in her life, keeping her. She's still the black
I
dude?
didn't know that. That's what's up. Good
I
for
don't
her.
know. But yeah, that the most insane family in every like regard, like regards to that word. I think you've ever encountered. But hey, kudos to them though, because they know what they got to do to stay on top and keep the money going.
I tell you what.
Say it,
No, I was just gonna ask. If,
say it.
if you were single,
I'm not going to answer it, but go ahead, quick.
if you were single, and you had the chance to, would you date a Kardashian or Jenner?
Next question, brother.
You told me to say it. Just
I said say it. I didn't know.
hypothetical, man. Come on. It's hypothetical.
Let me answer first.
Hypothetical. Me?
Answer first.
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who?
Who? Courtney and Kendall, for sure. They seem like the most grounded.
I'm gonna have to go Courtney.
Courtney.
I'll be it.
That's not a bad choice. They seem more grounded. Compared to who else?
Yeah, I was just about to say, compared to it, yeah.
compared to everybody else, they seem the most grounded. Like they're still like this high off the ground.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody else, yeah. You know what's funny on that show? Scott.
That dude,
He's hilarious. He's hilarious. I didn't realize how fake that show was until just watching this past couple of days. I really used to think that shit was real when I was a kid. There's an episode where I can vaguely remember at a restaurant and Scott just like shoved some money in the waiter's mouth. And I was like, what the hell? Like on some braggadocious shit, like, here, go get my car, and just like in his mouth.
that's the most obscene thing ever for that
I was like,
person, not just the
This
muffin
motherfucker's
bag.
crazy. Which I just let you know that shit's
Yeah,
fake as
that's
hell.
what. Ain't no way. Okay, who you are?
Texas,
Well, let me bet.
But yeah, man, that's fun.
Nah, man. But yeah, shout out to them, man. They living great, man. What can you say? Here we are. And
Talking about it, it's almost impossible to not talk about it.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like shit.
It is. It makes me mad. It's all good.
But no.
What?
What else you got?
What you got? I think that might be what I had.
But
You did remember
I think we got to at least address
What?
the crazy shifting gears here, but at least address the Colorado shooting and the Georgia shooting.
Okay, let's talk about it real quick. Not to be intentional. All I know is that there was a shooting. I don't know any details because I don't like to.
I mean, at this
read
point,
into it.
at this point, another mass shooting, just like crazy. And I think somebody said there was like a stat where, so far, it could be wrong, but in 2020, there's been more mass shooting than there has been days in the year 2020.
Jesus, wow.
The definition of a mass shooting is a shooting of more than 4 or more people. So it's been more of that than there has been days in the year so far.
Jeez.
So, and the overarching like topic of this is obviously gun control.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I feel like, okay, in my mind, why does anybody have a gun?
Yeah.
But I can tell you why I have mine. It's because the person that may kick down my door at any point most likely will have one. So that's why I have mine.
Yeah.
But the overall reason as to why anybody needs a gun, I can't justify it. You got other countries that citizens don't have a gun. They got a problem, they scrap it out, or they just knife it out. But for whatever reason, here we are in America. Got 10 people dead after just going grocery shopping. Whereas you hear that, and you can't help but think, okay, whenever I step outside my door, and I go to the local Kroger or Walmart, somebody's having a bad day, that's what I gotta look out for. It's just crazy to think about.
The one crazy thing I did see, or detail I actually did get, was this part of the crazy? What is the white guy? Both cases were a white dude. Did both cases? I know one dude was just taken into custody, like fine, like he wasn't shot or anything like that. Did that happen in both cases? Both cases?
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think the one in the Colorado one, like he was.
I got the most, but Roger gonna wrap up for y'all when y'all get done.
Okay, cool.
But I think the Colorado one, I think he was shot, but they don't know if he was trying to shoot himself or he was shot by a cop. I don't know. But I think the one in in Georgia was, they just got away right away.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw a lot of people comparing that to just black people who have been arrested, well not even arrested, but just murdered by the police over the past couple of years. Comparing that a lot to that, just how are these people unarmed being killed as opposed to these people who are killing other people, armed and dangerous, being taken into custody like it's nothing. So, I don't know, man. I mean, we've just been at this point so many times, it becomes crazy to really talk about. I mean, what is there to say that hasn't been said? Yeah, like you said, who really needs a fucking gun? I just bought a gun this year, midway through 2020, just for self-protection, like you're just saying, but I was like, the same reason. Just everybody else fucking had it. You see crazy shit like that. I mean, 2020, like we're all in the fucking house. All I'm seeing is George Floyd, I forget my man, Ahmaud Arbery, like, all that type of shit. Mass shootings that you got right here. So it's fucking terrifying. You gotta protect what's yours, but yeah, man, that's just very sad. Like prayers out to those families. But
Most definitely.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how you fix the problem. Was it? I think they said dude had an AR.
And that's I was just about to say, okay, I'm like, if we're gonna have guns, cool. I can understand like little handheld,
Yeah.
I can understand that, but if you hit my phone and you say, hey, I just got an AR, and I'm like, all right, cool, but why?
Yeah.
And you be like, oh, just because.
But that also kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, just outside influences, man. Like you're seeing people get shot up in these mass shootings. And what the person had? Well, he had an AR, he had some other type of. AR is a pistol. It's technically a pistol.
It's a pistol that nobody should have.
Yeah, pistol like that. But you're seeing this dude, he just shot up all these people. He had this like shit. Like I gotta get one too. You got one? I gotta get one too. I went to a gun show with one of my homies. This was back in November. and he bought an AR, like just in the not gymnasium, but in the Coliseum, like just.
I just don't understand, like, guys, why you need access to like that or an assault rifle, whatever. Like that's like, come on now.
Yeah, but it just all goes back to, I mean, just our rights. At times, I think, I don't know. I think I don't want to say we have too many rights, but just there might be a little too much leeway with some of
I'm
them.
gonna have to revisit them.
Yeah, might be a little too much leeway with some of them.
Put a little subcontext underneath some of them.
Yeah, so, like, straight up. Because when my boy, he bought his AR, like, I'm looking, because it took us like an hour to get it, like, we're there. He's just getting it assembled, picking out which parts he wants. I'm looking like, man, give me a fucking AR.
But it's
I'm
like,
about to get me an AR, but I'm just like, after
Why
trying,
would
I'm like,
I?
all right, I'll
Yeah,
need that.
yeah.
I'm good. But, man,
well, again,
but I did, also, I mean, he's the person who has a family, so I was like, it's hard to tell somebody, like, man, you can't get that. Like, hey, man, like, you see what just happened on TV? Like, I gotta protect mine. Like, so, I get it, but it's just like we talked about before, man. It's just a slippery ass slope. I don't know. This type of shit is. I was listening to this book this week by this actor named Ron Perlman, and this is kind of random, but in the book he tells a story about like him and his guys getting into like a big ass bar fight or something back in like the 70s or 80s, and I'm just like imagining as it's an audio book. As he's telling the story, I'm just imagining being in Corner Pocket or whatever else bar in Fort Wayne and just a fight breaking out around me. At this point, 'cause there was a time where I used to live to see a fight. But at this point, if that happens, he said there was like 18 people fighting at one time. And at the end of the fight, they just sat down and like drank the rest of the drinks and everybody went about their business. If that happens nowadays, I'm assuming like it's a matter of time. Someone's pulling out a gun.
you're a pop.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, just how different shit is now, how like fragile people's fucking mental or egos are. It's just different.
Now,
man.
like you used to say, like just whatever problems y'all have, scrap.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any separate. I don't think anything wrong with that. Like two people, all right, we got to duke it out strictly fist.
Cool.
Somebody get dropped, all right, that's it.
That's it. But now it's like if that person gets dropped, it's like it doesn't stop.
Oh,
There.
it's
Now it's
there
on
is no
social
just
media.
you lose a fight. Like,
You
gotta,
you embarrass me. Now I got to take it a step further.
yeah, it's all
And that starts the cycle that will never end.
Yeah.
You know, it's
there is no just losing the fight now.
It's
It's,
not.
like, it's done. Like, all right, I lost.
nothing wrong with losing.
Nah, just fight. I
That
mean,
means because you live.
Exactly.
Live to
No,
fight.
but straight up though.
Yeah.
And just the fact of it is, I mean, it's just a respect. You can lose, you can knock out, like whatever.
You didn't back down. You didn't back down.
That's what
You
matters.
stood on what you was standing on.
You'll get laughed at, but guess what? Next week, somebody else can get the fight and lose. Like, it's just,
Exactly.
time goes on. That's what people don't. I don't. Just don't get that shit. Like the dude, wherever the fuck those guys were that shot up the grocery store. What was the other location?
A spa.
A spa.
Which is
what's going on?
because a lot of those victims were Asian.
Asian.
So
Yeah.
that's again a whole other thing where
Yeah.
as of late there's no more Asian hate crimes, and so again, just stop the hate in general.
Yeah.
You know,
Just-
it's coming from one demographic like we spoke on I think last pod where they're feeling like the wall is closing in
Mhm.
on them a bit, and they're just lashing out on everybody that they don't approve of.
This
So
is-
it's just
This is the dumbest thing because, from what I understand, this is supposedly due to the COVID shit. That's why they're attacking or targeting Asian people.
I believe
Supposedly.
so. Yeah.
But I'm like, most people you're targeting are right here from the U.S. So what are you doing?
But we know what crowd that's coming from,
Yeah.
and from what individual that's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, that makes up a large part of our population.
Fair.
But it just, as a whole, it just makes everybody look bad. You know what I mean? It's sad at the end of the day where you get this individual acting like that, but then, to your point, they just say, or they I hate how they even put it out there where he just said he was a sex addict or something like that, and he was just taking out his frustrations, and which led to him shooting up the people at the spot. So I'm like, no, just call that shit for what it is. This man's a racist.
Yeah.
He's a terrorist. Don't do that.
Yeah. Actually,
That's my problem with half these things. Because if it was anybody else that did this, it would have been labeled for what it is.
yeah, for sure.
But whenever somebody who looks like that, who
Mhm.
does something like this, which is, whenever it does happen, it looks like that particular individual,
Yeah.
it's never addressed for what it is.
Crazy.
Which is, we're always going to have the problem unless you just call a spade a fucking spade.
Yeah. Oh, he had XYZ issues. He was bullied in
No,
third
no,
grade.
don't do that.
Just
Don't
to
do
say-
that. Don't
it's-
do
It'll
that.
be the most obscure shit.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Right.
No, just call a spade A spade.
And just give those people the penalty they deserve, like doing some shit like that.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't it doing some shit like that, I don't know how you see the light of day like ever again. Like,
Oh, and it's still, and it happened. I know we talked about it before again, but like it just for one of the dudes who did something like this, they gave him a burger on the way to taking him into custody,
Right.
which is it would never sit right with me.
yeah.
This man just slaughtered a whole bunch of people
In a church.
In a church.
Which this country
This-
prides itself on
It
religion.
prides itself on a religion.
Yeah.
You would think would be the safest place that you could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
He does that, and you take him to get a fucking burger.
Right.
But hey, nevertheless,
Yeah.
condolences and prayers to the family and everybody involved, man. So that's what I got on that.
All right, man. You good?
Great.
Go ahead and end it. This has been another episode of Here to Speak podcast. Thank you guys for listening. If you haven't thus far, please go out and subscribe, share, and just tell everybody you know about us.
Please, it's
Please.
greatly appreciated.
Yeah. You saw the, just spectrum of shit we covered.
The
bro.
range.
That was just some
The
crazy
range.
emotion, bro.
The range.
We went where I didn't know where we was going for a second.
We took you places that we didn't even know.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah.
Till
Thank
next
you.
time.
See y'all next week.
Love.
Peace.